Hey everybody, Gino Gruber here with the Tuesday Tidbit. Good aged single malt Scotch whiskey is pricey not because it's good, but because of the 200-year-old traditional process to make it. Now in the case of good whiskey, tradition has an edge. For most other businesses, tradition can be death. Before WordPerfect, corporate names of Underwood, Smith Corona, and Olympia held a good portion of the typewriter market. Today, these companies are gone. The only companies to escape the extinction of the typewriter were IBM, who went on to make computers that hosted word processing software, and Brother, who went on to be a major player in the printer market. Both IBM and Brother saw the changing times and found their niche. The typewriter companies that stuck to tradition, they're dead. Now, as a consultant who has visited companies all over North America, I am dumbfounded as to why some businesses do things the way they do. Now, it's my job to find money that is wasted in unnecessary process or lost to unproductive people. Now, this title consultant means I have expertise that my clients do not. But in reality, my clients know more about their businesses than I do. Now, they just don't want to make the changes needed to get their business to the next level. They're comfortable with the traditional way of doing things. In many ways, we humans are creatures of habit. We learn a process, and that's how we do it until it becomes bothersome and we find a less painful process. Or someone questions it and brings a better way of doing things to our attention. But even then, once we know a traditional process makes no sense, we fight change because the old way is what we're used to doing. Now, in one example, I was observing an accounts payable clerk, Karen, who received invoices in duplicate form with the payment. She would update the computer with all the data that the invoice had and then post the payment. Then she would separate the two copies of the invoice into separate piles. One copy went into the customer file and another went into a chronological file. Intrigued, I asked how often they needed to recall a file chronologically. Karen replied, never. Now, what is most strange about human behavior is that Karen also admitted that this was her least enjoyable task, was filing. But when I made a suggestion that they stop buying triplicate forms, the third copy went to the client, and start shredding the chronological copy, the AR clerk said it was no big deal and it only took her 20 minutes a day to do. Now, that mindset of only 20 minutes a day is the type of tradition that kills a business. 20 minutes a day is 87 hours per year. That's over 2 full weeks filing something that's never looked at. It takes up space and the form itself costs more to produce. The trouble with most people is that they don't question why, business owners included. So until next week, question everything and look for opportunities for profits up.